Luke, this sandwich is terrible. Where'd you get it?
John, that sandwich came from beneath the sink. Yeah, that sucks. That's terrible.
Not our best.
Well, next time. Welcome to another episode of BooseGumps, a Goosebumps podcast.
Woo! BooseGumps!
You already know who it is. It's Luke.
And your boy, John.
And we're here with a great big old season 1 episode. I think this is our first season 1 episode that we're doing.
Yeah, it's always nice to come back to our roots, come back to the Goosebumps classics.
Right back to where we started. And this one is It Came From Beneath the Sink. Now, right off the bat, I've got a bone to pick with Netflix.
Again.
They've got it as season 1, episode 2. That's just not right. It's season 1, episode 14.
But more importantly,
yes, the kicker on Netflix, It Came From Beneath the Kitchen Sink. Somebody get RL on the phone. What is happening here? Netflix, are you trying to destroy a dynasty?
yeah, why are you taking the liberty to rename these episodes?
Yeah, what's next?
Well, look,
You're just gonna
I took less issue with the reordering episodes. Fine, I'm sure you had your reasons. Luke was a lot more upset about it than me. But now you're just completely changing the name.
Yeah, before we know it, this is going to be based on the books by D.L. Hughley.
Do you think the Netflix higher ups was like, no one's gonna click on an episode called "It Came From Beneath the Sink"? It's just not specific enough.
We gotta let the people know which sink, the bathroom sink,
the mudroom sink. I mean, there's so many possibilities.
Well, regardless, it came from beneath the sink. The episode description is, there's something creepy lurking beneath the kitchen sink. It may look and feel like a regular sponge, but it is no ordinary sponge. It's alive.
SpongeBob!
Yeah, wait, is this just SpongeBob?
It's the crossover episode.
The crossover before SpongeBob. This is SpongeBob's roots.
SpongeBob was around, I think, when Goosebumps was airing. Yeah, this.
No, you're wrong.
It wasn't SpongeBob.
No, 1999 was SpongeBob. This is 95, I think.
Oh, damn, you're right. My bad.
Oh, it's okay. I forgive you, pretty eyes.
Thanks, man. I just wanted the crossover episode so bad. That would have been awesome.
It would have. But no, sadly, it's just a sponge from beneath the sink in the kitchen. I do remember this episode. It's really weird. I think you're going to enjoy it.
I have not seen this one before, so this is going to be a completely new Goosebumps experience for me. I'm excited.
So my idea, which you're going along with,
unfortunately,
our paired drink. I got something that's beneath my kitchen sink, and close enough, vodka. And
I went to my parents' basement sink and also got some vodka, and I'm gonna love you, Luke. I definitely poured a little bit more than a shot's worth, but
that's okay. I poured a little bit less, so you're gonna carry that weight.
It's not like I could go back down there and pour it back in. That would just be a really wimpy move in front of the parents.
No, you gotta drink it.
Yep. All right.
It's on you. So cheers.
Cheers.
Ooh.
Oh, it did not sit well.
I just drank a shot of vodka. You dare me to drive?
Yeah, nope, I don't.
No, because we are still in quarantine. I'm trying not to chase it.
I was going to say, that tasted a lot like NJ Transit to me. And now we can look forward to this episode of Goosebumps. You ready to fire it up, Luke?
Let's get it started, baby. I'm starting to lose it. I can't wait till we get to the good episodes.
I can't wait till we've watched these all, and I can move on with my life.
It came from beneath the sink. Even it says it in the title.
But not on Netflix.
I know what you mean, killer.
Another family moving into a new house.
Their dog's name is Killer.
No.
He said
That
Killer.
It must have been Taylor.
Like that kid almost just got run over by a car. What do you think about families that move like across town? What was the point? They were like, this house isn't as good as the house on this side of the same town.
It has to be just like a niceness of the abode itself. I don't see any other reason to do that.
True.
Maybe slightly less property tax if it's a smaller property.
Take my advice. Your dog whines and paws
That's
at
how
something
taxes work,
Is this
right?
how we were supposed to start off the episode talking about?
Oh wow, they're already
we're
opening
beneath
up
the
the kitchen
sink.
sink. Oh, there's.
kitty.
It's not a kitty. It's not a kitty. The dog knows it's not a kitty.
Dogs always know.
Having a dog named Killer has made this girl very bold. she feels like she could just plunge into the kitchen sink.
She's got a bandana on her head. She's a tough chick. I respect
Yeah.
that.
She's a little Rosie the Riveter.
Well, that just sounds condescending the way you said that.
Wait, the bandana's gone. Her hair's
It's a
loose.
symbol of her losing
No,
her strength.
Luke, did you see that continuity error? Did she take off the bandana?
No, it fell because she hit the pipe.
Oh. Oh my God.
And fade out, it's over.
That thing, it's alive! You were scared by a sponge?
Another hot dad. What, did everyone's dad in the 90s just smoking hot?
Gave me these
Yes,
dishes.
Zaddy.
Get that dog out of here.
Wait, I think the girl is somebody famous. Oh, she was in Freddy vs. Jason. That's how I know her.
Oh wow, that's a pretty big movie.
It was 2003.
Good year.
But that's where I recognize her, so.
Wow, she could really use a sponge right about now.
Coating her face in soap, hand soap.
Luke, $5 bet. She picks up the sponge and wipes her face. But damn it, now it's too
there
late.
it is. And broke his glass.
Oh,
I was washing my face, and I
He's gonna
wanted to
bleed
reach my
out.
towel and it was there.
Another casualty.
That ugly sponge.
well,
I
they
don't know
couldn't
how
even
it got
fake
in
the
there,
blood.
but it was
Look at his foot.
staring
It's
at me. It
perfect.
was staring right at me.
Katrina, please, this isn't funny.
Katrina, you
Now go
came in
find a
here like a
bottle and fill up the
hurricane.
glass. And be careful not to
Audience, that one
I
got
almost
Luke.
spit out my drink.
that
was
one
great.
really got Luke.
eat a proper breakfast.
But cold pizza's got all the basic food groups on it.
And so does your face.
Wait, but
So-
he's right about that because I read something recently that was like it's better to eat pizza than like a sugary cereal.
Pizza's
You guys
better
seem
for
to
you
this morning.
than people previously thought. That is
Yeah.
true.
With me last
This
night.
kid's ahead of his
It wasn't
time.
this morning.
Danny, you seen it?
No.
Look at the
Maybe
dad
take a
doing the
ride
pizza
around
now.
later. See if I
Classic
can find
family
him.
dynamic.
Bad things were happening, and they were getting worse.
Internal
do-
narration.
We're
Did this
doing
just start?
narration now.
It could have very easily started earlier, but I think it just started now.
But will it continue? Oh
No.
my god, are we supposed to believe that the sponge cut the brakes of the bike? How menacing is this sponge?
The sponge is like connected to the sponge mafia. He had his boys cut the brakes.
They put a hit out on Katrina. Make it look like an accident.
Scared? Nah.
I think he was supposed to like launch the popcorn up for effect, but they barely got any kernels in the air.
This is my other favorite Goosebump thing.
Killer come home?
If a
Nope.
character
Dad's
runs
checking
through the
for
forest or just falls once in the forest, they are immediately super dirty and look like they were working at a coal mine.
Get away from me! It needs to be dead.
Ah, convenient.
Name of
Dug up
science.
hole
Not to do this.
They were digging a hole for the dog.
to bury it.
Forget
Yeah,
science.
because they
Just
assumed the
right away,
worst.
they just assumed it was dead.
Ah, the natural enemy of a sponge, dry dirt.
You gonna catch a chill, kitty? Come on inside, it's bedtime.
Dad's even more gorgeous when he takes the
Still no
glasses
sign of
off.
killer, huh?
So handsome.
No, but he'll turn up. I know he will.
Yeah, he's turning up all right.
Everything's gonna be alright.
In doggy heaven.
What is that?
Rest in peace, killer.
Killer, we dedicate this pod to you. Wait, this background music almost sounds like love. Da-na-na-na, if you can't hear.
They wanted Lean on Me, but they couldn't get the rights.
I mean, how harmful is he? They were able to pick him up and carry him outside.
Can't they just burn
Take to
it?
school. Maybe Miss Vanderhoff will know what to do with it.
No, we'll just take it to school.
Just as I suspected.
You didn't suspect shit.
It's a sponge. Ah, she said it.
Can't you just check it out?
Check
Dissect
it
or
out.
something?
I think this is a Canadian-produced television series, right?
Now that you've pointed it out,
Check
you
back
pointed
with
it out a
the
few
total
episodes back. I hear at least one line an episode.
Thanks
It's
for
clearly
saying
a
that.
Canadian accent being covered up.
Oh,
I
Miss
think they
Vanderhoff,
are Canadian, though. I don't
just
think
make
they're trying to
sure
cover it
whatever
up
you
either.
do, You put it back in its cage when you're done. Bye.
That was very threatening. Whatever you do, you better put it back in its cage when you're done.
She didn't listen. Wait, that sponge just blew up a beaker with its mind.
Encyclopedia of the Weird. Does it have her picture in it?
Ah,
It says that your weirdo sponge is actually a gruel.
A gruel? What's a gruel? That
Uh,
explains all the
John?
accidents.
Yeah.
So I just looked up Grool on Urban Dictionary. It does not mean what they said it means.
Buy all this?
What does it mean on Urban Dictionary, Luke?
Just be glad you didn't find
Girl drool.
a lynx.
Gruel is not squirting. It is the lube that women produce when they are sexually aroused. Some girls have clear gruel and some girls have creamy gruel.
Well, Goosebumps probably should
Example
check that out.
given, when I was riding him, I was so wet that my gruel was running down.
I'm the one who left
This
Miss
ball.
Vanderhoff at school.
God damn it, Luke. We were at a healthy PG-13 level.
Yeah, we were
before.
doing well. I missed everything they were talking about.
You are my sunshine, my only
No copyright for that?
No, because he's singing. It's a cover.
Ah.
Please don't take.
They had one janitor actor who had a fair voice, and they're like, you know what? Let's throw this in there.
Let him sing. Also, I don't know if you noticed, there was some gruel on that cart.
That janitor must have made a very lucky lady very
You'll
happy.
never know, dear.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, there it is.
There's the gruel. It's ruined. I can't think anymore.
You know, this janitor's hairline is doing him no favors.
Lights went out. What do you mean what happened?
Are you afraid of the dark?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. We don't mention that show.
Oh, he just
Did he
knocked
just
himself-
concuss himself? He just gave himself CTE?
Ginger acid.
Convenient sign.
Watch out!
The acid.
Cat, are you alright?
It's okay. I'm fine, really.
She looks up and her hand is dissolved off.
Oh no!
She's just trying to act cool in front of her brother and his brother's friend.
Growing the gruel. It's growing.
The gruel is growing, Luke.
Stop calling it gruel.
No man left behind.
The gruel loves bad, so it must hate good. Happy is good. Go turn up the music. See if I
They
can get
boiled
this
down a
cage.
complex sponge.
Did I ever tell you what a wonderful sponge you are?
Right, Jordan, keep going.
Oh, that's copywritten. Can't sing that. Sing something.
I love what you've done
Wake
with
up.
your hair.
Grab a brush and put on a little makeup.
Yes.
Why'd you leave your keys upon the
Yellow
table?
You wanted to.
Ooh, I like this noir lighting.
Oh, they're getting gassed.
Kids, I'll take care of it.
Janitor to the rescue.
I like how he came to and is immediately like aware of the situation.
That was really fast reaction time. The sponge has two enemies, happiness and fire extinguishers.
Is gas put out by a fire extinguisher? I don't think that works like that.
Hey, worked.
I'd have to check the science.
Cool. I tried.
Here, I'll Google that, since you Googled gruel, which was so helpful. They're meant for fires.
In the Encyclopedia of the Weird, I couldn't get rid of the gruel. It's mine forever.
Oh,
So,
God.
I think
Come
it's the
on.
best thing.
Did you miss that line?
Yes, I did. What was the
Yeah,
line?
maybe for the best.
See, I told you he'd come back.
Oh,
Okay.
Killer's not dead.
French toast.
Yay. French toast. Oh, this is the greatest ending ever.
Looks like we dug that hole in the
What'd you bring
backyard
back?
for nothing.
What'd you bring back?
Killer's back.
A potato?
Oh, it's gonna eat her. At least there's a simple answer
Wait,
to that.
what?
Just boil it.
Wait, was the potato growing in their garden and it was tainted by the evil sponge?
I think the dog was working for the sponge and the potato.
So, a very straightforward Goosebumps, you know. There is a sponge and it's evil and they have to overcome evil. It turns out it is kindness that kills the evil sponge.
Mmm.
A very meat and potatoes story. See what I did there?
If only Israel and Palestine could learn from that.
You know, that's not where I was going with this, but yeah, maybe.
We might have to edit that out.
No, we're keeping that.
Oh, God.
Yeah, John, initial thoughts?
I will admit that I was definitely a little less focused than I normally am for these episodes. I was not fully tuned in, but yeah, I mean, I guess my immediate reaction thoughts are just that the sponge was a formidable foe. It really had a lot of powers at its disposal. It could like psychically control, blow up glass beakers and, you know, affect things around it. And it was pretty...
Cut the brakes off of a bicycle.
Cut the brakes off of a bicycle. It was a pretty overpowered being.
But I was going to say, you missed the line where she said something about, like, Grool is a part of me now or something.
No.
While you were looking up a fire extinguisher, which you concluded that fire extinguisher has only put out fire and not gas.
Yeah, I mean, from my very extensive, and by extensive I mean 5-second Google search research, I gathered that fire extinguishers put out fires.
Great. More flaws in the Goosebumps logic. That's what we're here for.
But again, that janitor just sprang into action so quickly. I mean, we dedicate the pod to him. This guy's a hero.
Between him and Killer, this episode is full of characters who were loved, cherished.
And we will carry with us for the rest of our lives, or at the very least, the rest of this recording session.
The next 10 minutes. I will say that this episode is very campy. Like,
yeah,
it's a classic Goosebumps where it's just, you know, there is this monster and they have to stop it, and you know, like I love the episodes that bring in all these characters and like they don't really explain what's going on. They just kind of jump into the action, and like there are different monsters that appear and there's different ways to take care of it. This is just like one way, you know, the kids are like, well, we have to destroy it, like we have to bury it, you know. So I feel like we're gonna get into some episodes where they don't really know what to do, or they kind of ignore the problem. And these are very proactive characters, which I like to see.
They were very proactive characters, and I appreciated it was all three of them were they made a good team. It was like the older sister, the younger brother's friend was the comic relief. Yeah. Like they all added a little something to their unit, and you know, yeah, I enjoyed it. It was fun. It was it was at the very least I can say every time it cut to that sponge and it like it opened its mouth and it had these like fangs protruding from the top and bottom of its mouth. That was always fun for me.
It was a practical effect.
Yeah,
which I love when they do practical. Like it shouldn't be scary, but like, you know, it's uncanny. It's certainly weird. It makes you feel uncomfortable, which is like the best thing they could really do. But speaking of feeling uncomfortable, I can't just stop thinking about how they call it Grool.
Well, how common is the Urban Dictionary definition?
It's pretty common. You know, the only reason I looked it up is because I knew what it was and I had heard of it. And I just can't believe that. I mean, I guess maybe it's a recent, within the last 20 years. R.L. Stine, again, coming up with these concepts that are later changing into something else.
Well, you know, like a lot of words have innocent meanings and then become something different, you know?
But Grool,
Yeah.
we went from an evil sponge. They could have called it like loofah or something, you know?
Yeah. And instead they went with Grool, which apparently meant excited woman juices.
It's girl drool
Uh,
from the vagina.
Yep. That's it. That's the stuff. Please don't listen to this one, Mom and Dad. I'm gonna.
You might have to tell them not to listen.
This episode's gonna get a quiet release.
Yeah. only fans.
Actually, you know that Facebook. This is actually already coming clutch for the other podcast I'm on. Facebook has a feature when you share a status, when you post something, you can click in the post, share with everyone except, and then click the people you don't want to share it with.
I didn't know that, but I feel like you were just telling me this so you could promote your other podcast.
No, not at all. Not at all. In fact, I'm not even going to mention it. I'm not going to rise to that bait.
You're not going to mention Pillow Talk with John and Ryan?
It's John and Ryan's
On
Pillow Talk.
Spotify? Oh, whoops.
Available now on Spotify and Apple
I'm a
Podcasts.
good friend.
What?
Nothing. Anyway, let's get back to this episode. I think the shot of vodka was the best pairing so far. Of all the drinks we've had, some of them, you know, I like kind of stretched them to make it fit, like the Go Eat Worms and my 2 beer concoction. I was like stretching the similarities, but this one, like, you know, shot of vodka. I could say that this episode was like a shot of vodka. It hit me hard. It went down not as smooth, but I ended up enjoying it after the fact.
Hit me hard. I didn't like the way it went down, but once it settled, I was able to come to a good place.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I could get behind that metaphor.
One question. Or nah? And for those who aren't familiar, that is our rating system for each episode. As in scary, good episode. And nah as in wasn't feeling it, not good. So John, or nah?
I think I have to go nah.
Really a nah?
Yeah, and I will explain to you why. I enjoyed it. I feel like if we just make the barometer, do you enjoy it or not, then I'm going to be saying to like 90% of these because I enjoy most of them.
Okay.
But the reality is I didn't feel like this episode had a good enough twist, if any twist, really. Like what? I guess the twist at the end with this potato wasn't a good enough twist for me to really feel like there was a meaningful change at the end there. And I don't know. I didn't fully engage with this episode, and it could have been because of that shot just kind of steering me off course right before we started. But
yeah,
I enjoyed it. I don't mean to say I didn't enjoy it. I still enjoyed it. I just feel like in terms of the other episodes I watched, this has been one of my less favorite ones.
Okay. Well, that being said, I'm giving this one an I liked how like random it was, how, you know, like they throw in the narration. It's kind of like all over the place, but at the same time, like it's so straightforward, you know. There's an enemy, they have to defeat the enemy, they defeat the enemy. There's an evil potato at the end for some reason, which is like a really bad twist, but at the same time, how can you explain the evil sponge? You can't.
No.
So like to throw in a twist that is just as weird and corny, it works with it.
I think for me, partly though, it's not even that. It's usually a twist and Goosebumps that gets me excited, is one where I'm like, oh shit, what's gonna happen next? And like with that one, I was like, okay, just throw the potato away. Just throw it.
But yeah, but the thing is like it's so simple. You just throw away the potato, but like
Yeah.
it's not about the destination. It's about the journey.
I feel like for these reviews, we may be assuming different I'm going to be like the Simon Cowell, and you're going to be more of the Randy Jackson.
Hell yeah. Well, that's going to be a yes for me, dog.
Completely awful. No, it wasn't completely awful. Again, I enjoyed it. Just in terms, if I'm in my ranking system for the episodes we've already reviewed and watched, I can't give an ah personally. But I'm not shaming Luke's ah. Luke, I accept your ah.
And I accept your nah. And that's why we have this podcast, is to get down to the nitty gritty of it all and have these conversations. And, you know, we both enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Isn't that what's most important?
I just enjoy seeing your face, man. I miss you. Quarantine
I
sucks.
miss you too. Yeah, we are Skyping and recording right now, and hopefully we can turn these 2 episodes we've recorded so far in quarantine into some beautiful videos, which I think have so far come out very well.
I'm very happy with both of these. These may be our magnum opus. Our magnum opus
So far. Point to where we're going from here. We're going up, baby.
Woo!
We're going to break through that glass ceiling.
Of white male podcasters.
Exactly. I guess the only thing we have left to say is, listener, be cautious, because
Evil sponge make me nauseous.
thanks for listening.